It's time for another Heritage ship deep dive, and this time we are looking at the Huntress ship set. And in case you were not aware, some sets and items in the Pirate Emporium are based on past Rare franchises. These are called Heritage cosmetics, and as a Rare fan, I love talking about them. We already discussed a bunch of other ship sets, and now it's time to finally discuss this beautiful vessel. This ship is based on the Perfect Dark franchise. This series follows Joanne Dark, an agent of the Keratin Institute, as she uncovers conspiracies by rival corporation Datadyne, a corporation that also sells these sweet mugs. So, just like always, before we take a look at the ship set, it's time for a brief history lesson in this legendary franchise. After the success of GoldenEye 007, Rare got the offer to work on the next Bond game, Tomorrow Never Dies, but rejected this offer since they felt they were done with that franchise and wanted to make something a bit more sci-fi. Not only that, but the team wanted their next game to star a woman because they felt more video games should have female protagonists. And thus Joanna Dark was born. And fun fact, in the original game she is voiced by Evelyn Fisher, who is probably most famous for doing the Donkey Kong Country soundtrack together with David Wise. And of course for voicing Pipsy the Mouse in Diddy Kong Racing. Perfect Dark was designed using a modified engine of GoldenEye, but sadly had a rocky development since some of the members of the original team left before the game was finished. Luckily, Rare was able to fill these gaps with members from the Killer Instinct team, and the game was released in May 2000. The story of Perfect Dark features two rival corporations that are each backed up by a different alien race. Joanna Dark is an agent of the Keratin Institute, and the various missions see her infiltrating corporate buildings, rescuing aliens, saving the president, and invading alien planets. Just like GoldenEye, many of its missions are based around stealth, using gadgets, and completing different objectives that increase in number on higher difficulties. Just like many Rare games from that era, this one was received with critical acclaim and received high scores all around. It later got re-released on Xbox Arcade with a more modern control scheme and updated graphics. It's also the version I'm showing you gameplay of. Before the release of Perfect Dark, Rare was also working on another Perfect Dark game for the Game Boy Color. Although they are named the same, this game follows a different story set a year prior to the events of the Nintendo 64 game. It was also compatible with the Game Boy printer, Game Boy link cable, and had its own rumble functionality built into the game cartridge. The game was praised for its technical aspects, like its graphics and speech sampling, but most critics felt the gameplay just wasn't that much fun. The next game in the series, Perfect Dark Zero, was originally being developed for the Nintendo GameCube, but switched to the Xbox when Rare was bought by Microsoft. It then switched again, and Perfect Dark Zero became a launch title for the Xbox 360. The game takes place in the year 2020, 3 years before the events of the original Perfect Dark. At this moment in time, Joanne is not working for the Keratin Institute just yet, but is working as a bounty hunter together with her father. And although this game was a commercial success, players are a bit mixed on this edition of the franchise. At the time, the graphics were quite impressive, but some people felt the gameplay didn't feel like an evolution of the original game. Another common complaint was that Joanne's personality didn't match up with what was established before. I remember having fond memories of this game, but I have to admit it doesn't hold up quite as well as I would have liked. Still, I feel both Perfect Dark and Perfect Dark Zero are worth checking out, and you can easily do so since they are both on Rare Replay, which is available on Xbox Game Pass. I'm not sponsored, I'm just a fanboy. And of course, I also have to mention the new Perfect Dark game that is in development by The Initiative. Not much is known about the game while I'm writing the script for this video, and some might say it's in development hell. I personally like to say they are just taking their time. Either way, I'm already excited to play as Joanna Dark once again. So, with the history lesson behind us, let's finally take a look at the Huntress ship set. The blue, black and silver colors used are obviously there because these are also prominent on the box art of the games, on Joanne's outfit and that of the Carrington Institute. And as you will find out, some pieces like the cannons, capstan and wheel also have some red colors with yellow streaks worked in their design. And this is a subtle reference to Joanne's hair in Perfect Dark Zero. The hull is decorated with a flintlock on each side. In the games, Joanna is frequently using the Falcon 2 pistol, which, according to the lore, is also her signature weapon of choice. I wouldn't say these are as iconic as the laptop gun or some of the alien weapons, but of course having a laptop gun on the hull would be a bit weird for a pirate game, so these flintlocks will have to do. The description reads, "Give your ship a dark silhouette, perfect for sneaking into enemy waters undetected." And this is the first of many obvious descriptions. The capstan is pretty basic as far as heritage cosmetics go, but it does have the Datadyne logo on top. The description reads, "This capstan bears the name of the shipwright, a person or trading company called Carrington." And yeah, another one of these obvious descriptions, since the Carrington Institution is the organization Joanna Dark works for, but the name Carrington is also the name of the founder of that institution. His name is Daniel Carrington, so it could be he had a pirate ancestor who made this ship. Probably not, but it's fun to speculate. Also, it's a bit weird that the capstan is made by Carrington, yet has the Datadyne logo. And we actually see a combination of the Carrington logo and Datadyne logo being used on this ship. Another place where we can find the Datadyne logo is on the wheel. The description reads, "A famed pirate once stood at this helm, her steering as infallible as her aim." And this is certainly true for Joanna, since she was granted the title of Perfect Dark following her flawless performance in training. The cannons contain yet another Datadyne logo, and the end of the barrel is shaped like a crosshair. And we can also find these little crosshairs on the wheels. A very nice touch indeed. The flavor text reads, "These elegant and powerful cannons look like they could shoot as far as sight allows." And you might think this is just a boring description, but it's probably a reference to the Far Side, an alien railgun that can fire through any amount of walls or other obstacles. And do these cannons have some nice flares? No, they don't, so let's move on to the sails. These have a variation of the Carrington logo, and the description reads, "Legend says this mark belonged to a secretive trading company that trained elite warriors." And this again is another obvious flavor text. The collector's sails add some extra shine and some additional crosshairs when using it on a brigantine or galleon. The description reads, "This crosshair motif will inspire your crew to practice their aim, hopefully on other crews." And crosshairs appear in most first-person shooters, but I would also like to mention that the logo of Perfect Dark Zero has a crosshair in its design. The flag depicts the same pistols we saw on the hull, and its description reads, "The crossed pistols of the Huntress, who was said to battle foes from beyond the world." And foes from beyond the world are obviously meant to be the aliens Joanna Dark fought against. So let's move on to the figureheads, and there are actually 3 to discuss. And let's begin with the regular figurehead. This one is modeled after Joanna from her original Perfect Dark appearance. She holds 2 pistols that are both emitting some smoke. Sadly, this smoke is not animated, not even on the collector's figurehead, which is a missed opportunity, but oh well. The text reads, "The infamous Huntress showed zero mercy, able to infiltrate any fort and eliminate any foe." Obvious description once again, since all Joanna does is infiltrate various buildings, organizations and alien ships. Zero Mercy is obviously referring to Perfect Dark Zero, but I would like to point out that we also have a mission in the original Perfect Dark that's straight up called Infiltration, so there are some multiple references in this flavor text. The collector's figurehead is similar but a bit more shiny, kinda like a shiny Ray, the co-host of the official Unofficial Sea of Thieves podcast, the best Sea of Thieves podcast on YouTube and Spotify, so make sure to check that out. The description of the figurehead reads, "This is the perfect way to honor the dark deeds of the Huntress, a pirate without equal." And just like the steering wheel, this is referring to her flawless performance in training, making her the highest ranked agent the Carrington Institute has to offer. And the final figurehead I want to show is the Legacy figurehead. This one was originally a Mixpot reward, which is similar to Twitch drops but for Mixer, and was later added to the Shipwright store for all players to purchase. This one is sadly very similar to the other figureheads, but Joanna's hair seems to be modeled more after her Perfect Dark Zero appearance. The text reads, "The perfect choice for dark-minded pirates who have zero mercy on their foes," which is similar to some flavor text we heard before. In conclusion, I want to say that I'm a fan of all these heritage ship sets, but if I had to pick my least favorite, it would be this one. It's not that this one isn't great, because it is, but the other ones are just slightly better. This video also marks the end of my heritage ship deep dives. Maybe I will redo some if they ever add furniture or flares to some of these sets, but my real hopes are on a brand new ship set. I mean, where is my Gret by the Ghoulies ship set rare? I'm ready to give you my money. So don't forget to leave a like before you go, and I wish you happy sailings, whether it be on an overpriced expensive ship set or not. Take care, and I will see you in the next video. Or podcast. Probably podcast.